I do like starting this way because then I have to do even less editing than normal.
Yeah.
Although this story irritates me. Netflix getting away from the binge model for releases. I don't love it. Don't love it.
This time it's personal. Mike's going to talk to us today about a subject that really pisses him off. Netflix
Really grinds his gears.
really grinds his gears on today's not so critical update.
That was so BBC.
Yeah, was it? I thought it was more Channel 4. I don't know. More ITV.
Maybe Sky.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Sky Music.
I like how you just asserted that it's my story, but sure, why not?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We've seen this move coming. I think a huge benefit. Netflix introduced this binge watching model, right, where they would release 6 or 10 episodes of a series all at once. You could watch them straight through. Loved it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
As we saw new streaming services, some of them had different models. Some would do the first 3 episodes and then drip them out weekly. Some just weekly from the very beginning. Some would release all the episodes. And so now what this story is reporting is that Netflix has, Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix, has historically been very against this weekly drip model, but he's maybe coming around a little bit.
I think the reason that they want to do a drip model is because they're probably seeing a lot of activations and cancellations for shows that people want to watch, right? So, but now they have to stay activated for 2.5 months because it's on a 10 week schedule. Each episode comes out weekly, and now they get to serve you more ads. Peter, they get to retain you as a customer for longer. Me. So it's like, this is the worst backtrace ever, because like Mike said, I think that the binge format only benefits us.
Yeah, but that was the whole thing about Netflix. It was the whole thing about all these companies. They all start off with something cool, and everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. And then they grow to the point, because they're cool, that they stop growing. And instead of going, that's enough, we're happy with where we're at, and we're standing by our principles, they go, how can we make more money? And then they have to switch into go away from
different models.
Google, don't be evil. Great way to start off a company, but they just couldn't hang on to it forever, could they? They dropped it from the slogan.
Sometimes it feels like Peter's never heard of capitalism.
I mean, capitalism.
There is such a degree, like there is a way to do capitalism, like I think in a not ethical, I shouldn't say, but sure, actually.
Certainly can't do capitalism ethically,
no, but theoretically, maybe there is, but
you really can, I think. Like, I don't know. I guess the first one that comes to mind is like Bitwarden, the open source password manager. I think they just secured $100 million in funding. Like, they've done everything right. You can have a free, all-featured password manager that doesn't do what LastPass does and is like totally good. And yet they're still growing, and they're selling premium support. So you can have a free open source version, or you can have a paid open source version. And it's just so done right. And sure, I bet that the shareholders of the company are still pushing for more and more and more. But like, there are ways to do this correctly. And one we've talked about before, which is not give a shit if the company doesn't grow by 10% every fucking quarter. Like,
Did we get sponsored by Bitwarden and I didn't know about it? Like, we've mentioned Bitwarden like 8 times in the past month, I think.
I love Bitwarden.
Listen, if anybody wants to sponsor us themselves at home, all they have to do is click that little like button down there. And if they really want to get involved, come by the Discord. We're actually having some interesting chats lately. So come and contribute.
Discord's been getting really active lately. That's pretty
zero sarcasm.
We've been having some good conversations at Discord for sure.
Yeah.
So
Genuine.
to the point you made, John, about why they're making this change and that you could previously just subscribe for a show and then leave. The other thing they mentioned in the article is that it has to do with how long they can hold the news headlines. Right. So if they release a show 10 episodes on a day, they'll have a huge burst in traffic for that weekend or for that week. But if they've got a show that releases once a week, then that'll be sustained. And they saw that very clearly. Recently, they did it with Stranger Things. And I think Ozark was the other example they gave, where in both cases, they not every episode, but a half a season and then half a season. And they noticed a much longer publicity benefit from spreading out that release some. So I don't know if they go a little bit further, smaller chunks.
But it makes sense. It makes perfect sense, of course, because you go, the newest, hottest show. First one that comes to mind is one I just watched on Netflix, which was all episodes, which was the Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runner. Super good. Go check it out. Hype will die down in 5 days.
And Netflix, it used to be a competitive advantage for Netflix because they were the only place you could do that. That was a big benefit. You'd sign up for Netflix, then you would have that. Now Netflix is competing against a bunch of other streaming services who aren't doing that, and they actually, to be competitive, they have to actually get away from that model. It's right. I don't love the streaming landscape right now.
I think that could eventually contribute to that. I'll make a strong statement here. I think that the decision to go episodic could contribute to the downfall of Netflix. I think that someone else could come along and recreate what Netflix did originally and be as successful as Netflix was. And maybe Netflix will be too far gone to step back.
So your theory is that Netflix is at such great risk of failure because of this, while at the same time believing that Twitch can pull it out and be a sustainable, viable long-term company.
The reason, no, that wasn't quite saying that Twitch could pull it out. Is that what you said? Pull it out? That sounds rude. I think
you might pull it off.
Pull it off. Yes. Twitch aren't going to fail right now because there's no viable alternative. But if someone came along and did a Twitch with decent features, then Twitch would dead and had decent investment to get promotion. Yes, absolutely. But there isn't one, and that's why I said that they're not going to die after that source code hack. But I think that Netflix, what I'm saying is that I think it could contribute towards their eventual downfall. Like this decision to go corporate, go follow everyone else,
go old school.
So which of those companies do you think will fail first?
Oh, good question. Well, I don't really know much about the streaming scene, so it's difficult for me to predict whether there might be other people. We mentioned this the other day. I think if one of us was plugged into the startup scene in Silicon Valley, we might have a better idea about if there are any up and comers who might be able to take over. But probably Twitch.
I keep hearing. So I've heard about this a couple of times of stealth streaming platforms. They never see the light of day. It's been the last one I can think of was right around the time. If you guys have heard of Dr. Disrespect, he's one of the biggest streamers. Just period. And he got banned permanently from Twitch. And he like a year and a half ago, and he moved to YouTube, brought his entire following to YouTube, and still on YouTube Live, he gets something like 50,000 viewers at a time, which this is record-setting stuff for streamers. Right around the time he was banned, there was a Twitter that popped up, a Twitter account that was supposed to be the next big streaming platform. Nothing ever happened. No idea. Maybe they got sued. Maybe they got shut down before they even, they ran out of money. Maybe they got bought out and were put under silence agreements. No clue. So far, no one is able to go toe-to-toe with Twitch, including YouTube, which if you go look at the YouTube Live in the gaming section, there's 10,000 people there. You go to Twitch and there's millions. So as of right now, I got to just eat my own words and say I don't think Twitch is going anywhere. However, MySpace being a perfect example of a company who we all thought was too big to fail, overnight, pretty much, vanished.
Very quickly.
And it can happen to any company. And we'll just have to wait and see.